like this. This looks cool too. You can take a cigarette like this. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, that hurts a little bit. Now this is the cool part. Take a cigarette like this. Filter off and put it in my pocket. Watch, all I gotta do is just snap my fingers. Just like magic. Just like cigarette magic. Give me a five. Is that magic or what? Hey, thanks for helping.
That's cool.
That's cool.
What'd you think about that?
I like it.
How you doing? I'm Rodger Lovins. This is a little trick we're calling Break the Habit. It was formerly known as Visible Torn and Restored Cigarette. It's a little thing I came up with back in the 80s. And at this portion of the video, I'd like to explain to you some of the moves and so forth. Now, when I first start on the breaking of the cigarette, where the cigarette is actually broken into pieces, what we're actually doing there is we're sliding the filter. The filter on the Gimmick slides. So we're actually just sliding the filter from one end to about middle, making a breaking motion, pretending to have a piece here, and then sliding it all the way to the other end, making a breaking motion and acting like we have a piece here. Now the audience at this point just sees the filter. So when they think we're dropping the filter into the hand, we're actually dropping the entire Gimmick into the hands. Snap the fingers and bring it back. Now when you're performing this, at this point the filter will actually be on the tobacco end rather than the cotton filter end. So at that point I normally do like cigarette up nose, which is just basically, again, sliding the filter from one end to the other end. At which point you can just palm this off, you can reproduce it however you like, and then you're set up with the filter back on the proper end and ready to go. For the finale, for the visible break, it's a matter of actually bending. This is a rubber type product, so it bends, and then the thumb pushes the filter behind the remainder of the cigarette. So as you can see, it's actually just folded over. You're folding the filter behind, holding it with the thumb and first finger. I act like I put the filter in my pocket at that point. When you snap the fingers, it's a matter of just releasing pressure on the filter, and it's jumping back up into place to make it appear like it is totally restored. Now the maintenance of your breaking the habit, it's a piece of special tubing. The filter is just the paper filter from a normal cigarette, like so. It's just the paper portion. Inside this end, of course, is the cotton, and that is also from the cotton from the regular cigarette. And on the other end is the tobacco. Now this is paper and all, so it's just the end of the cigarette, like so. So in order to take your tubing, put a little Fantastic on it, wipe it off and clean it, you break a cigarette in two, ravel the tobacco out, and pull the cotton filter out of the end of it. I normally use a small pair of needle nose pliers. You can use a little pocket knife or anything just to get it started. Then you just twist the filter into the end like this. Take scissors at that point and trim the brown paper filter off. It slides on the outside here. And then you take this end of it, ravel some tobacco out of it, and twist it off. I normally just put a little drop of glue right there, just a small little drop of glue to help keep the tobacco from raveling. And of course that goes in the other end, and there you have it. So it's a thing that later on, when the filter starts getting worn from performance, you can just make it like new again. Thanks. A few bonus tips I'd like to add also. If you want to actually borrow a cigarette from a spectator, Normally what I do is I just have the torn and restored cigarette palmed thusly in my left hand. I borrow the cigarette with my right hand and I just come across and do a little switch. I put this in my mouth and I get rid of this cigarette when going for a lighter, just into your pocket or wherever, depending on your performance. At this point I start to light and I say, wait a minute, let me show you a trick, and then I just go into the routine. Also, there's several other things that the Gimmick can do. For instance, you can do penetrations. If you want to take, because of the sliding filter, if you want to take the cigarette and do a little penetration right through the hand, you can see that it slides from one end to the other and makes it look like we've got a little penetration going on. You can do it in the ear, up the nose. There's a lot of different things. This cigarette is also the exact size and weight of a normal cigarette. So if you're practicing any magician sleights, any sleight of hand moves that you may be trying or whatever, the cigarette is the exact size and weight for practice. Comes in real handy.